7 days of discipline, 5 habits that quietly changed my life. This is positive motivation. If you clicked on this video because the title caught your attention, stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not theory, not hype, and not something copied from books. This is real. This is lived. And this is exactly what the title promises. 7 days, just 7, not a year, not a lifetime challenge, not some impossible morning routine. 7 ordinary days that quietly changed everything. Most people believe life changes come from big moments, big decisions, big money, big luck. I believe that too. But what I discovered in these 7 days shattered that illusion, because nothing loud happened, nothing dramatic, no one applauded. But inside, something shifted. And once it shifts, it never goes back. Let me take you to the starting point. Before these 7 days, my life looked normal from the outside, functioning, surviving, managing. But inside, constant delay, mental noise, low energy, big dreams, zero consistency. I was tired, not physically, but mentally. Tired of starting and stopping. Tired of motivation that fades. Tired of knowing what to do and still not doing it. One night, I asked myself a dangerous question. What if the problem isn't my goals, but my discipline? Not motivation, not talent, not circumstances. Discipline. So I didn't plan a year. I didn't promise my future. I only committed to 7 days. 7 days of discipline. 5 small habits. No pressure. No perfection. Just honesty. And here is what happened. Day 1 didn't feel powerful. In fact, it felt uncomfortable. Because discipline doesn't excite you. It exposes you. The first habit was simple, almost boring. I decided to wake up at the same time, no matter what. Not early like influencers say. Not 5 a.m. Just consistent. Same time. Every day. That first morning, my body resisted. My mind negotiated. Just today doesn't matter. You're tired. Start tomorrow properly. But for the first time, I didn't argue. I stood up. No motivation. No energy. Just movement. And that's when I learned my first lesson. Discipline begins where motivation ends. That day felt ordinary. But something subtle happened. I didn't feel proud. I felt grounded. Like I kept a promise, not to the world, but to myself. And that feeling stayed. Day 2 introduced the second habit. No phone for the first hour. No scrolling, no messages, no noise. Just silence. At first, it felt empty, like something was missing. But what was missing was distraction. And what appeared in that silence shocked me. My own thoughts, unfiltered, unescaped. I realized how rarely I sit with my mind without running away. That 1 hour didn't make me productive. It made me aware. And awareness is dangerous because once you see, you can't unsee. By day 3, something changed. Not externally, internally. The third habit was simple again. Do one important task before anything else. Not 10 tasks. Not a full to-do list. 1. Something meaningful. Something uncomfortable. And I did it before checking messages, before consuming anything. That day, productivity felt different. Not rushed. Not chaotic. Focused. I wasn't busy. I was intentional. And that's when it hit me. Busy people feel productive. Disciplined people actually are. By day 4, resistance became quieter. The fourth habit wasn't about doing more. It was about stopping something. I stopped complaining. Not aloud. Internally, every time my mind blamed the circumstances, I interrupted it. No drama, just responsibility. And suddenly, power returned. Because the moment you stop blaming, you start leading your own life. Day 5 introduced the hardest habit, reflection. Every night, I ask myself 3 questions. What did I do well today? Where did I break discipline? What will I correct tomorrow? No judgment, no punishment, just truth. And truth builds strength. By day 7, I didn't feel transformed. I felt stable. And stability is the foundation of every successful life. Not motivation, not inspiration. Stability.
I didn't become someone new. I became someone consistent. And that changed everything. By the end of the first week, something strange happened. People expect fireworks when life changes. A big emotional rush. A dramatic before and after moment. But that didn't happen. Instead, something much deeper took place. The noise inside my head became quieter. Not silent, but organized. Before discipline, my mind was loud. Too many thoughts. Too many plans. Too many excuses. After 7 days, those thoughts didn't disappear. They lined up. And that's when I understood something most people never realize. Discipline doesn't change your life first. It changes your identity. Before this week, I used to say things like, I'm trying. I'll start soon. I know what to do. I just can't stay consistent. After this week, without forcing it, my language changed. I didn't say, I'm trying. I said, this is what I do. And identity is powerful. Because when something becomes part of who you are, you don't need motivation to maintain it. You protect it. Let me explain what really shifted internally. Earlier, every task felt heavy. Not because the task was hard, but because my mind didn't trust me. Think about that. When you break promises to yourself again and again, your mind stops believing you. You say you'll wake up early, you don't. You say you'll focus, you scroll. You say you'll change, nothing happens. So your brain learns a pattern. This person doesn't follow through. After 7 days of discipline, that pattern cracked. Not because I did something extraordinary, but because I did small things consistently. And consistency rebuilds self-trust. That's why confidence quietly returned. Not loud confidence, not fake positivity. Real confidence, the kind that comes from integrity with yourself. Another shift happened, and this one was uncomfortable. I stopped romanticizing my potential. Before discipline, I lived in future fantasies. I could do this. I have so much potential. If only circumstances were different. Discipline forced me into the present. No fantasy, no imagination, only action. And that's when I realized potential is comforting. Execution is confronting. But execution is where growth lives. One morning during that week, I caught myself doing something automatically. I woke up, didn't touch my phone, sat quietly, and started my priority task. No debate, no resistance. And I paused, because this wasn't effort anymore. This was habit. And habits are dangerous in the best way. Because once discipline becomes habit, it no longer drains you. It supports you. Here's something most people won't tell you. Discipline gives you emotional control. Before, my emotions dictated my actions. If I felt tired, I stopped. If I felt bored, I escaped. If I felt overwhelmed, I delayed. After discipline, emotions were still there, but they weren't in charge. I acted first, felt later, and that flipped everything. Another quiet change. My tolerance for distraction dropped. Things that used to steal hours now felt annoying. Endless scrolling, meaningless conversations, random noise. Not because I became better than anyone, but because my mind tasted focus. And once you taste focus, distraction feels empty. By the end of the week, I realized something deeply uncomfortable. Most of my stress wasn't caused by pressure. It was caused by avoidance. Avoiding hard tasks. Avoiding silence. Avoiding responsibility. Discipline removed avoidance. And with it, stress reduced. Not life stress, mental stress. I also noticed this. I stopped waiting to feel ready. Because discipline taught me a brutal truth. You will never feel ready. Readiness comes after action, not before. And that truth is freeing. Because it removes waiting from your life. By day 7, I wasn't excited. I was calm. And calm is powerful. Because calm people move consistently. They don't rush. They don't quit. They build. I looked at my life and realized nothing external had changed yet. Same environment. Same responsibilities. Same challenges. But I had changed. And when you change internally, the external world has no choice but to respond eventually. At that moment, I made a decision. This wasn't a 7-day challenge anymore. This was a new standard. Not perfection. Not extremes. Standards. And here's the most important realization of this entire journey. Discipline isn't about controlling your life. It's about freeing it. Freeing it from regret. Freeing it from chaos. Freeing it from self-betrayal. And the scariest part? If 7 days can do this, imagine what 7 months can do. By now, something important had become clear to me. Confidence didn't come from loud wins. It didn't come from compliments. It didn't come from people noticing change. It came from one place only. Keeping promises to myself. Every small, disciplined action was like a vote. A vote for the person I wanted to become. And after 7 days, those votes added up. Not enough to feel arrogant. Just enough to feel solid. Unshakable. Here's what discipline secretly does to confidence. It removes self-doubt at the root. Self-doubt isn't born from failure. It's born from inconsistency. When you say one thing and do another, your mind learns to question you. Discipline aligns your words and actions. And alignment creates confidence. Quiet confidence. I also noticed something else. Motivation used to feel like fuel. Exciting, but unstable. Discipline felt like structure. Not emotional. Not dramatic. Reliable. And that's when I understood. Motivation starts things. Discipline finishes them. People around me didn't notice anything yet. And that was perfect. Because real change doesn't announce itself. It whispers. It builds in silence. It grows roots before it grows results. The habits weren't impressive. But the effect was, I wasn't pushing harder. I was resisting less. And that made everything easier. At that point, I stopped asking, how long will this take? And started asking, how solid can this become? Because when discipline becomes solid, results become inevitable. By the end of those 7 days, I didn't feel like celebrating. And that surprised me. Because usually, we look for excitement as proof of change. But real change doesn't need celebration. It needs commitment. What I felt instead was something deeper. Respect. Not from others. From myself. I looked back at that version of me who used to wait for the right time. The version who needed motivation before action. The version who knew a lot, but applied very little. And for the first time, I didn't feel anger toward that version. I felt understanding. Because no one teaches us discipline the right way. We are taught intensity. We are taught hustle. We are taught extremes. But we are rarely taught standards. Here's the truth I want to leave you with. Discipline is not about becoming someone else. It's about returning to who you said you wanted to be. Those 5 habits didn't make my life perfect. Problems didn't disappear. Challenges didn't pause. But something important changed. I stopped running from my life. I started meeting it daily, calmly, consistently. And that changes how life responds to you. Most people are waiting. Waiting to feel ready. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for motivation. But discipline doesn't wait. It moves first. And when you move first, life follows. If you take anything from this video, let it be this. You don't need a new year. You don't need a big plan. You don't need permission. You need a standard and 7 honest days. That's it. 7 days of discipline won't change everything, but they will change you. And once you change, everything else eventually has to. So don't ask yourself, can I do this forever? Ask yourself, can I do this today? Then tomorrow? Then again. Quietly. Consistently. This was 7 days of discipline, 5 habits that quietly changed my life. And this is positive motivation. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. And let your results make the noise.